Can you fill in the gaps? If I, promotion, I, my income. The correct answer is A. If I'd gotten promotion, I would have increased my income. Let's try again. Fill in the gaps. We, your house. If we, you own the mobile. The correct answer is B. We wouldn't have found your house if we hadn't called you on the mobile. I used the third conditional in both sentences to describe hypothetical past, or in other words, unreal situation in the past. So now when we know that we use the third conditional to describe unreal situation, let's look at the first sentence and think, what does it mean? This sentence means that I didn't get promotion and I didn't increase my income. Now look at the second sentence and guess, what does it mean? And it means, we found your house because we called you on the mobile. Otherwise, we couldn't have found it. Now let's analyze the structure of the third conditional sentences. Look at this sentence. If I hadn't arrived in time, I would have missed my flight. When it comes to the third conditional, we have two clauses, if clause and the main clause. If clause describes the condition and main clause describes the result. So in the sentence, if I hadn't arrived in time, I would have missed my flight, our condition or if clause is if I hadn't arrived in time. And our main clause, which also shows the result, is I would have missed my flight. Let's look at another sentence. If I'd felt better, I would have won the competition. Now I want you to observe this sentence and try to find out how we form the third conditional sentence. As you may notice, we used past perfect simple in if clause, if I'd felt better. We usually put the past perfect simple after if I'd done my homework, if I'd written essays, if I'd been there. But in our main clause, we use would have plus past participle to describe the result. For example, I would have passed the quiz. I would have improved my writing skills. I wouldn't have missed the party. Now let's merge them. If I'd done my homework, I would have passed the quiz. If I'd written essays, I would have improved my writing skills. If I'd been there, I wouldn't have missed the party. Past participle, by the way, is the third form of irregular verbs or regular verbs with ed ending. For example, begun, written, learned, swung, invited, and so on. Usually in spoken English, we use contractions. Contractions are shortened forms of had and would have. So instead of saying if I had, we say if I'd. And instead of saying I would have, we say I'd have. For example, if I'd done my homework, I'd have gotten a good mark. If the weather had been sunny, she'd have gone for a walk. If he'd watched David the teacher's videos, he'd have known English better. Now I want you to look at these two sentences and guess, what is the difference between them? If I'd known your email, I would have written you. Or, I would have written you if I'd known your email. As you noticed, these are two completely same sentences with a subtle difference. And the difference is, when your if clause comes first, you put a comma between if and main clauses. But if we write main clause first, we don't put the comma. I would have made more money if I'd worked more. I would have watched drama movies if I'd been a movie fan. There is no comma. I would have had a car if I hadn't been afraid of driving. Again, there is no comma between if and main clauses. Now let's look at a more formal way of using the third conditional. Had I let her go to school, she wouldn't have missed a new topic. Had I sent her more money, she would have bought a new mobile. Don't be confused because it's absolutely easy. You just replace if by inverting the subject and had. Correspondingly, instead of saying if she had prepared a meal, we wouldn't have gone to the restaurant, you may say had she prepared a meal, we wouldn't have gone to the restaurant. Or instead of if we had gone to the theater instead of skiing, he wouldn't have broken his leg, you may say had we gone to the theater instead of skiing, he wouldn't have broken his leg. Now let's concentrate on the structure of question sentences of the third conditional. Supposing I had run 5 kilometers, what would have been my reward? Imagine we had had a date. Where would we have gone? If we had created a team, who would you have chosen as your number 2? I hope you noticed that I replaced if with expressions like supposing and imagine. These are just other expressions that you can use instead of if. So, in order to make the third conditional question sentence, we may use if, imagine, supposing, and what if. Also, if it's required, you might start your main clause with question words like what, who, where, why, how, and so on. For example, what if she had rejected your offer? Who would you have chosen instead of her? Supposing he had broken your PC, what would you have done? Imagine they hadn't invited you. Would you have stopped your friendship? Would they have met you if it had started raining? You see, it's actually absolutely easy, although it's advanced grammar. By the way, before we start practicing, if you want to learn more advanced grammar, check my another video about causative verbs like get, make, have, and let. It's absolutely necessary to know them if you want to sound more like natives. But now, let's start practicing. And the first question, please fill in the gap. The correct answer is C. If I hadn't bitten a piece of iron, I wouldn't have broken my teeth. The second question. The correct answer is A. Supposing I had called you at night, how would you have reacted? The third question. The correct answer is D. Had you paid me more, I would have worked harder. And the last question. The correct answer is B. We would have seen the eclipse if we hadn't been in the subway. Now, after finishing the quiz, I want you to go to the comment section below and share your result with me. Also, I hope now you know how to use the third conditional. And if this video was helpful, please subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell button. And of course, I'm going to see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye bye.